morning, everyone. Today, we'll discuss about the performance of transmission lines, which comes under Module 2. As the name itself indicating, the performance means it is measured in terms of voltage regulation and efficiency. The design and operation of the transmission lines, it is usually influenced by the voltage drop, line losses, and the efficiency of the system. So these transmission lines mainly depends on the line parameters like R, L, C and the conductance. Conductance, acceptance, all these parameters will come into picture. So here the performance can be, as we have discussed, voltage regulation is one of the term, efficiency, voltage drop, line losses. So these, what is this voltage regulation? Voltage regulation is nothing but the difference between the voltage that is being sent and what is the voltage that is being received at the receiving end with respect to the receiving voltage. So it can be represented as Vs minus Vr divided by Vr in terms of percentage, means multiplied by 100. So next is the term efficiency. Efficiency is nothing but the power that is being sent, that is the power output with respect to the power input. In terms of efficiency, it will be measured into 100, will give you the efficiency. Voltage drop. So as we have said that, so the transmission line will be having the line parameters or the line elements like R, L, C will be present. So the drop across each element will be considered, what means whenever the voltage is sent from the sending end, there will be drop which occurs whenever it is receiving towards the receiving end. Then what are these line losses? We are going to calculate. So based on these line losses, we are going to get the receiving end voltage, because receiving end voltage will not be same as the sending end voltage, because it will be traveling long distances where there will be line losses. So these parameters, these line losses depends on the resistance, inductance and capacitance and susceptance that occurs in the transmission line. Next is based on the distance, means based on the length of the transmission line and based on the line voltage, the transmission lines are classified into mainly three types. One is the short transmission line. If the length of the transmission line is between 0 to 50 kilometer line, then they are taken as short transmission line. And if the line voltage is about less than or equal to 20 kilovolt, it comes under short transmission line. Since the length of the transmission line is very small and the voltage is also very less, the capacitance effect will be very small and hence can be neglected. Only the parameter that comes into picture are the resistance and inductance. Second one is the medium transmission line. When the length of the transmission line is between 50 to 150 kilometer line length and the line voltage will be between 20 to 100 kilovolt, this comes under medium transmission line. Since the length is long, so this capacitance effect will be taken into consideration. So the line constants R, L, C will be uniformly distributed, means the capacitance effect will be taken into consideration in this medium transmission line. Again, this based on the lumping of the capacitance, they are classified into mainly three types. So end condenser method, nominal T method and nominal pi method. In detail, we'll be discussing about these different classification of transmission line with respect to the vector diagram. So next, the third classification is the long transmission line. If the length of the transmission line is greater than 150 kilometers and if the line voltage is greater than 100 kilovolt, then they are called as long transmission line. And the parameters R, L, C will come into picture here. All these line constants will be uniformly distributed over the overall length of the transmission line. So in this case, one of the method, that is rigorous method, is the method used to obtain the solution for this long transmission line. So now we'll study in detail first about the short transmission line. So here we can see the circuit diagram for the short transmission line where Vs is the sending end voltage and VR is the receiving end voltage. So here usually the load we are going to take is the inductive load, and the parameters, that is R and L, will be taken into consideration and capacitance effect will be neglected. In this short transmission line, so this current I, that is the sending end current IS, and the receiving end current IR will be same. So that is why they are represented as I. Then cos phi r is the power factor of the load, that is the angle between the receiving end voltage and the receiving end current are called as the receiving end power factor, which is represented as cos phi r. Next, delta will be the angle between the sending end voltage and the receiving end voltage. There will be some angle difference. So this you will come to know when we plot the vector diagram. So based on this circuit as a reference, now we are going to draw the vector diagram for this short transmission line. So whenever we are drawing the vector diagram, first we'll come from the receiving end side, then towards the sending end side. So now first we are going to take the VR as the receiving end voltage as the reference point. So here first we should draw the reference as VR. Next, we know that the current that is flowing in this receiving end is same as the current that is coming from the sending end side. Now we need to consider current I, and since the load is lagging, always you'll be having the lagging power factor if you are having inductive load. So now you should draw the current I, which is lagging behind VR by an angle of phi r. Okay, is it clear? Next, after VR, so you have to consider the parameter, that is the effect of resistance and inductance in the line. So we know that when you consider a resistive circuit, in a pure resistive circuit, current and voltage will be in phase. Now we are going to take this current as reference. Then we are going to draw the line, that is nothing but the IR is nothing but the drop across resistor. Next, when you consider a pure inductive load, so please refer the circuit diagram whenever you are drawing the vector diagram. So in a pure inductive circuit, that is nothing but in a pure inductive reactance, so the current will be lagging the voltage by exactly 90 degrees. So please draw the 90-degree line. So this is nothing but your I into XL. Now the combination of these two is nothing but your vector. You're going to get it as I into Z. Okay. Next, so now we have drawn VR is drawn, then I into Z is drawn. Next, combination of these two is nothing but your receiving end voltage. That is, sum of this VR, vector sum of VR and I into Z will give you your Vs. So now this angle between Vs and VR is nothing but the angle delta. I hope you are clear with the vector diagram of for short transmission line. Next, the equations which are related to short transmission line are Z is equal to R plus JXL. Next, Vs is equal to VR plus I into R plus X is nothing but XL. And in this case, Is is equal to IR is equal to I. Now, whenever you are representing the equation for VR, VR is equal to I into R into cos phi r plus I into XL into sin phi r will be obtaining the equation after solving this equation. So this is the expression for short transmission line. Next is the medium transmission line. So as we have said, in a medium transmission line, the length of the line will be between 50 to 150 kilometers and the line voltage will be greater than 20 kilovolt. So here capacitance effect will be taken into consideration. Now the line capacitance, it will be usually lumped at one or more points. So here, so this lumping of the capacitance is called as the localizing. So here we have two methods. Now end condenser method is not there in your syllabus. So we are going to consider only nominal T and nominal pi method. So now first method under medium transmission line is the nominal T method. So in this nominal T method, we are going to draw the circuit. The circuit diagram for nominal T method is as shown in the figure. Here, the same R and X will be divided between the 2 points, that is in between the two impedances we are going to place capacitance C. Same here also, Vs is the sending end voltage, Is is the sending end current, Vr is the receiving end voltage, and Ir is the receiving end current. So here the impedance is divided into half. It is in the form of a T. So as we can see, this is in the form of a T, and this circuit is called as, now this method is called as nominal T method. Now we need to derive the expression for the sending end voltage and sending end current using this nominal T method. So here, so in this method, total line capacitance is lumped. So as we can see in the circuit, total line capacitance C is lumped at the midpoint between the two impedances. Okay, so the resistance and reactance of the line are divided on both the sides of the capacitance. Half of the line carries full charging current. Half of the line will carry the full charging current, because we can see that in the nominal T circuit, so half means the Z will be divided into two parts. So we can see the circuit here. So this current, this IR will flow for half of the impedance, and Is will flow in the half of the impedance part. Okay. Now we'll show you how to draw the vector diagram for this nominal T method. So now here also, first with respect to this circuit, we need to draw from the receiving end side. So here also VR will be taken as a reference. Now with respect to this VR, we are first going to draw the current IR. Okay. So first we need to draw the reference vector as VR. With respect to this VR, we need to draw the current IR. So here also load is inductive, so it will be lagging by an angle of phi r. Okay. Now next, moving to the circuit, so we have half of the resistance and half of the inductive reactance will be taken into consideration. Now first we should take the drop across resistor. So now we know current and voltage will be in phase in a pure resistive circuit. So that is why drop is taken as IR into R by 2. Next, inductive reactance means the current will be lagging behind the voltage by exactly 90 degrees. So draw with respect to this current, draw a perpendicular 90-degree line here with respect to this IR. So this will be the drop IR into XL by 2, because half, it is divided into half. Next, joining these two, so you will be getting IR into Z by 2. So this half part is over. Next, you have the capacitance placed in between the two impedances. Now we should represent the current also. So we know that sending end current Is is equal to some vector sum of IC plus IR. Now we will draw the current vector diagram. So here, so IR plus IC will give you the sum as Is. That is the sending end current is equal to sum of the receiving end current plus the charging current. That is the capacitance current. Next is you need to consider Is as reference, and we need to draw the next representation. That is the next half of the impedance. For the next half of the impedance, current Is will be flowing. Now this Is will be taken as reference. With respect to this Is, we are going to draw with respect to this VR and IR into Z by 2. If you join, you will be getting V1. That is the drop across the capacitor that will complete first. Next, V1 plus a drop across the impedance will give you the total sending end voltage. Next, IS is taken as reference. With respect to IS, draw the line, parallel line. Since for resistance, pure resistance, it will be voltage and current will be in phase. Next, draw a perpendicular line, which is for the inductive reactance, that is IS into XL by 2. Join that, you will be getting IS into Z by 2. Now, the combination of this V1 plus this drop will give you Vs, that is nothing but the sending end voltage. So like this, we need to analyze the vector diagram for nominal T method. I hope I am clear with the vector diagram. Now next, here the angle between the current, that is the sending end current IS with respect to sending end voltage Vs is your angle, that is phi s. So here cos phi r will be the receiving end power factor, cos phi s will be your sending end power factor. Now these are the parameters which are used for drawing the vector diagram. IR is the load current, R is the resistance per phase, XL is the inductive reactance per phase, C is the capacitance per phase, cos phi r is the receiving end power factor, lagging because load will always be taken as inductive load. Vs is the sending end voltage per phase, V1 is the voltage across capacitor, and IC is the capacitance current. Now, these are the equations which are related to the nominal T method. So, IS is equal to IR plus IC. So, Vs is equal to V1 plus IS into Z by 2. So, this is what with respect to your vector diagram, we are writing the equation. Next, Vs is equal to V1 plus Is into, so Z is represented as R by 2 plus J into XL by 2. Now, V1, so for this V1, you can write it as VR plus IR into Z by 2. Again, this is nothing but Z by 2 is nothing but R by 2 plus J into XL by 2. Now, so that is the equation for sending end current is 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 equal to IR plus IC. Then sending end voltage is represented as Vs is equal to V1. So V1 is nothing but your VR plus IR into Z by 2 plus Is into R by 2 plus J into Z by 2. So this is what the equation for nominal T method. In the next session, we'll discuss about nominal pi method and long transmission line derivations in the next session. I hope I am clear to whatever I have discussed up to today. So thank you. Thank you.